acts of bullying. For purposes of this act, bullying shall refer to any severe or repeated use by one or more students of a written, verbal or electronic expression, or a physical act or gesture, or any combination
directed at another student with the intent of causing or putting the latter in reasonable fear of physical or emotional harm or property damage, creating a hostile environment at school for the other student, infringing on the rights of other student at school, or materially and substantially disrupting the education process or the orderly operation of a school.
such as but not limited to the following. A. Any unwanted physical contact between the bully and the victim like punching, pushing, shoving, kicking, slapping, tickling, headlocks, inflicting school pranks, teasing, fighting, and the use or available objects as weapons. B. Any act that causes damage to a victim's psyche and or emotional well-being. C. Any slanderous statement or accusation that causes the victim undue emotional distress like directing foul language or profanity at the target, name-calling, tormenting, and commenting negatively on victim's looks, clothes, and body, and cyberbullying or any bullying done through the use of technology or any electronic means. Section 3, Adopting of Anti-Bullying Policies. All elementary and secondary schools are hereby directed to adopt policies to address the existence of bullying in their respective institutions. Such policies shall be regularly updated and, at a minimum, shall include provisions which A. Prohibit the following acts. 1. Bullying on school grounds, property immediately adjacent to school grounds, at a school-sponsored or school-related activities, functions or programs whether on or off school grounds, at the school bus stops, on school buses or other vehicles owned, leased or used by a school, or through the use of technology or an electronic device owned, leased or used by a school. Number 2. Bullying at a location, activity, function, or program that is not school-related and through the use of technology or an electronic device that is not owned, leased or used by a school if the act or acts in the question create a hostile environment at school for the victim, infringe on the rights of the victim at school, or materially and substantially disrupt the education process or the orderly operation of a school, and retaliation against a person who reports bullying, who provides information during an investigation of bullying, or who is a witness to or has reliable information about bullying. B. Identify the range of disciplinary administrative actions that may be taken against a perpetrator for bullying or retaliation, which shall be commensurate with the nature and gravity of the offense, provided that in addition to the disciplinary sanctions imposed upon a perpetrator of bullying or retaliation, he or she shall also be required to undergo a rehabilitation programs which shall be administered by the institution concerned. The parents of the said perpetrator shall be encouraged by the said institution to join the rehabilitation program. C. Establish clear procedures and strategies for 1. Reporting acts of bullying or retaliation. 2. Responding properly to and investigating reports of bullying or retaliation. Number 3. Restoring a sense of safety for a victim in assessing the student's need for protection. Number 4. Protecting from bullying or retaliation of a person who reports acts of bullying, provides information during an investigation of bullying, or is witness to or has reliable information about an act of bullying, and providing counseling or referral to appropriate services for perpetrators, victims, and appropriate family members of said students. D. Enable students to anonymously report bullying or retaliation, provided, however, that no disciplinary administrative action shall be taken against a perpetrator solely on the basis of an anonymous report. E. Subject a student who knowingly makes a false accusation of bullying to disciplinary administrative action. F. Educate students on the dynamics of bullying, the anti-bullying policies of the school, as well as the mechanism of such school for the anonymous reporting of acts of bullying or retaliation. G. Educate parents and guardians about the dynamics of bullying, the anti-bullying policies of the school, and how parents and guardians can provide support and reinforce such policies at home. And H. Maintain a public record of relevant information and statistics on acts of bullying or retaliation in school, provided that the names of students who committed acts of bullying or retaliation shall be strictly confidential and only made available to the school administration, teachers directly responsible for the said student, and parent or guardians of students who are or have been victims of acts of bullying or retaliation.
All elementary and secondary school shall provide students and their parents or guardians a copy of the anti-bullying policies being adopted by the school. Such policies shall likewise be included in the school's student and/or employee handbook and shall be conspicuously posted on the school walls and website, if there is any. The Department of Education departmented shall include in its training programs, courses or activities which shall provide opportunities for school administrators, teachers, and other employees to develop their knowledge and skills in preventing or responding to any bullying act.
Section 4. Mechanism to address bullying. The school principal or any person who holds a comparable rule shall be responsible for the implementation and oversight of policies intended to address bullying.
Any member of the school administration, student, parent, or volunteer who witnesses or learns of a case of bullying or retaliation must promptly report it to the school principal, school officer, or anyone authorized by the principal to handle such matters, or both. The school principal or a designated school official or person will investigate as soon as possible after receiving such a report.
If it is determined that bullying or retaliation has occurred, the school principal or the designated school officer or personnel shall A. Notify the law enforcement agency if the school principal or design believes that criminal charges under the revised penal code may be pursued against the perpetrator. B. Take appropriate disciplinary administrative action. C. Notify the parents or guardians of the perpetrator and notify the parents or guardians of the victim regarding the action taken to prevent any further acts of bullying or retaliation.
If a bullying or retaliation occurrence involves students from multiple schools, the school that is first notified of the bullying or retaliation must promptly contact the appropriate administrator at the other school so that both can take appropriate action.